Can I just ask here, because the German system of graduate school is not like the ones that you might find in Britain, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just maybe could tell, where do I find these grad schools? Maybe talk about, most of them are externally funded, I know, by the DFG, how you do that. Maybe Barbara knows about that, or just to give an idea from the outside. You talk about the grad school as an alternative, but an alternative what is the individual path as it's known in Germany?
Yes, so indeed, I mean, there are many different formats also of graduate schools, yeah, and the main thing is that institutes can finance a graduate school with different means. And the research landscape, which I can maybe briefly sketch here in the first place, is that in Germany, in the German system, you do have universities, but you also have universities of applied sciences, which are a little bit different. They're called the Fachhochschulen in German, and there are non-university research institutes. Many of those are quite famous, and those are research institutes like Max Planck, which you have, Samira. There is the Helmholtz Association, and of this association, our institute, the German Cancer Research Center, is part of the Helmholtz Association. There's the Leibniz Association, and there's Fraunhofer Association, and those are institutes, and they're financed in a different way. And so in a way, these non-research, non-university institutes really support the creation of graduate schools, but also universities have more and more graduate schools, and that is partially thanks to the Excellence Initiative, which in Germany is actually a way of financing, of evaluating excellent institutes, but there was a clear way of financing research over the creation of graduate schools. So if you then say, like, well, where can I then find graduate schools? I think you really need to look at your area of interest, to look at the places, institutes that you're interested in joining, and then you can find out, you know, whether this university also has graduate schools. Often they have several programs, and take it over that path. So that would be my advice, to really look for the topic, the place, and the institute you're interested in, and then see what programs they offer.
Yeah.
Maybe I can add one thing. There's a webpage by DAAD, and they have an excellent link list of all sorts of links to graduate programs. And they cover a lot, actually, because otherwise you would have to go to individual universities, to the Max Planck Society, and so on. Makes it a bit more complicated. But above all, if I'm a scientist, so I would definitely look for the laboratory I'm interested in, or the area. What exactly fits? Who are the good people? And then look, like just Barbara said, what is around there? Is there a graduate program that then around there in the city fits to this laboratory?
Yeah. Maybe we can get the case study from Samira. How did you find where to go in Germany? You're in a very good place, so it must be a good story.
I fortunately am. So I did exactly what Martin said, that fortunately I knew what research area I was interested in, which was Alzheimer's disease for me. So I kept on actively looking throughout my master's in case I was doing a PhD, because it was either PhD or med schools. I think a lot of students go through that experience, especially in science. So I was actively looking at labs that were publishing well, and were also doing research in an area that I was interested in. I mean, Alzheimer's disease in itself is a very broad area. And I also looked at findaphd.com as well as jobs.ac.uk. Actively looked for PhD advertisements, and also went to, if I was interested in anywhere, and this is not only specific to Germany. Luckily, a lot of universities in Germany are very, very well known for their research. Just go to the university's webpage, look at the research group, look at the latest publications, perhaps try to find out, because sometimes they will also have contacts within the research group. So I could also email PhD students there and say, what is your experience? How did you get there? Yeah, that is what I would recommend. Try to get as personally involved with the lab groups or the group you're interested in working with.